Hello, welcome to the Amazing Nerdiverse. I'm Jeff Grant.
I'm Steven Dugert.
So real quick, I want to talk about a couple of movies and TV shows, just recent stuff. So Justice League, you've finally seen it now.
Yep.
So I wanted to talk about I've done my whole review and everything, and real quick, I just wanted to hear your thoughts on Justice League.
I thought it was a lot better than Batman v Superman.
Mm-hmm.
It was much more enjoyable to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because I mean, you're not a big fan of all the dark stuff all the time.
No.
You need your levity and stuff.
I do. Superman was correct.
Yeah.
In his character.
On paper.
Right.
In practicality, you knew about the mustache and stuff. How did that?
It didn't bother. I just looked at his eyes.
Honestly, I've seen the movie 3 times now.
Yeah.
It bothers me less now. Just because
Yeah.
I'm expecting it. That first time was really jarring.
Yeah.
Especially because that first scene in the movie is that.
I think they were trying to show off.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, all right, let's just get this out of the way. Let's put this up front because we know he's going to have that. So let's just, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It was rough. It's not my favorite. I don't think they really do this that much, but I really wish they'd continue to work on it until it comes out on home video. Because that's the one that's the version of the movie I'm going to watch.
Right.
For the rest of my life. Like, I want that to look better.
Yeah.
Like same with Rogue One. Like, I wish they would have polished those CG characters up a little bit more. Mm-hmm. Like the Leias and the Tarkins and stuff, and just made them look a little, I don't know. Or just reshoot that stuff. I did see a thing where Warner Brothers offered to pay to digitally add a mustache in Mission Impossible 6. And Paramount was like, nope. It would have been they wouldn't have had to pay for anything out of pocket or anything. It would have been so easy for them, and they still fucked over Warner Brothers so hard.
That was Henry Cavill. I would have just shaved and just said, whatever. Cut me out of Mission Impossible 15, whatever it is. Who cares?
Yeah, I'm Superman.
Like,
yeah.
Whatever.
They fucked him over.
Although I liked the Flash in it, I felt like maybe he was playing it more, to me, a little bit Wally West.
Yeah.
Than a Barry Allen, just a little bit.
Yeah, I can see that. You know, like Wally West was they don't really talk about this much, like, is they don't really go into it too much because it's not as obvious, but in the Justice League cartoon, that was Wally West, that wasn't Barry Allen. So
Wally West to me is like a little bit more wisecracking.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think maybe I would have liked if he was a little bit less tripping over things, and
he tripped a lot.
I was like, all right, I get it.
Yeah.
Like, that's enough.
Yeah.
Can we that's enough.
Yeah.
I like the bits where, like, they're just like got each other's backs during the fight. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, even though Aquaman probably would have been fine when, like, there was some boulders and stuff falling on him.
Yeah.
Like, Wonder Woman jumped in and, like, with the shield.
Yeah.
I like that.
Or, like, Barry pushing the sword to
that.
her.
Yeah, like when
and when that shit's falling, like, I love that part when that shit's falling and he pushes her over.
Yeah.
He, like, pushes her out of the way and he lands on her.
Yeah, like Wonder Woman would have been fine.
He's, like, standing up straight and he's like, like, I love... Seeing it again, he does a lot of interesting eye acting in that movie. He does some cool stuff with his eyes, just like that moment.
Yeah.
Where, like, after he pushes her down, lands on top of her, then stands back up real quick and just looking around. And then, that scene where he's like, when he first goes to the Batcave and he's running around looking at everything, and then he's sitting in the Batmobile and he just does that thing where he looks around with his eyes, like doesn't move anything but his eyes. Yeah. There's a lot of interesting eye stuff in this. Same thing with Superman.
What else?
I don't know if we want to go into too much spoiler. I mean, it's been out for a couple weeks now, so if there's light spoilers.
Right.
But nothing super.
When Superman shows back up in his costume, in the bright blue.
Yeah, the costume was different. Yeah.
There's one, it's like a small moment, but it's like, there he is. Mm-hmm. It's like Steppenwolf is swinging at him, and he just kind of barely moves, and he kind of he's smiling. That's all you need to do, bro.
Yeah.
He's smiling, and then he decks the shit out of him.
Yeah, this version of he's a Superman that I've wanted.
Yep.
And like, yeah, I mean, maybe it takes them killing him off and bringing him back to make it work, but I think going forward, they can do some cool shit. But like now, the issue is I just don't think Ben Affleck's going to be around much longer. So they are going to have to do something with that. And the perfect thing to do is Flashpoint.
Yeah.
Like if this is what I would do, because the next movies are Aquaman, Wonder Woman 2, and Shazam. They're going to do those.
I have one question for you. Because I watched Batman v Superman before I saw Justice League. Just to...
Yeah, I watched all of them before I saw it.
When Aquaman in Justice League says, when he's in Atlantis, he's like, I need to get something first before I go. And when he goes to Atlantis and he's talking to Mira, and she's like, all right, it's your responsibility now to go fight Steppenwolf and go stop him from getting all the mother boxes. He's like, all right, I need something first. And then he shows up with his suit and the trident. Which is he talking about? Is he talking about the suit, or is he talking about the trident?
Maybe both.
Maybe both.
Maybe it's all because honestly, I don't remember that.
No,
seen it 3 times. I don't remember that line. I don't know. I might have been so distracted by just the water bubble thing and just kind of looking at the way that looked and paying more attention to the way it looked and what they were saying. Because like now that you mentioned, I can't recall anything she said, but I knew that in that moment he got that stuff from her. Yeah. Like so.
Because if he's getting the trident, he had it in the surveillance footage before. So I'm thinking maybe it was just the suit.
Maybe it was the suit because he didn't have that armor and stuff before.
All right, that makes sense then. Yeah. He just needed a little extra.
What was the thing about Flash you were talking about earlier, like earlier tonight?
So when he's talking to his dad in the prison, he's like, he's got like 4 jobs, he says. Yeah. But he's not a forensic scientist yet. Yeah. But later on, he's talking to Cyborg. He's like, oh, I got struck by lightning. That's how I got my... Yeah. So it's like, well... Isn't that when he...
in his origin, he's already a CSI guy.
That's a pretty big deal,
He gets struck by lightning in the crime lab and all the chemicals splash combined. Because in the comics, the particle accelerator was not a big deal. It was more about the lightning and the chemicals. Yeah. The TV show, I think, made the particle accelerator part of that more of a thing. And I'm not as sure about the original. In the original comics, I'm sure it was just the lightning and the chemicals because it's just
hard water
60s. Oh yeah, that was Jay Garrick.
Yeah, it's a it's a little silly.
Yeah. And so I don't know, like in the movie version, see what I'm guessing, like you said, he wasn't a CSI yet. I'm guessing he's still going to school for that. Yeah. He was probably late one night in the lab at school because like he's still obsessed with his dad's case, the murder of his mother and everything. I would assume that he would just be staying late at night and like, oh, I'm working on some extra credit stuff, and really he's doing like trying to work on his dad's case. And
but to me, why do that? Why bother? Why not just have him already be?
Because he's young. Because they're kind of establishing that he's one of the younger versions of the League, and they had to kind of take him back a little bit in his life experience.
I suppose.
I don't know.
What I would,
because we've already seen the version where he's already a CSI, I guess. Like
what I think what they could have done as far as telling the Justice League movie story, like have them all like with like little vignettes. Yeah. Kind of like how Wonder Woman's was. She's just stopping the what have you at the museum. Is that what it was? Was it a museum?
No, she works at the museum.
Right, but she was stopping the bombing.
I thought at first it was a bank, but now I don't think it was. It was some field trip. I don't even know what the Capitol building.
I think I just assumed it was a museum.
I have no idea.
But anyway, like have her stopping that, then cut to one of the other ones where they're doing something, and then but each of them like is kind of figuring out a little piece of like, oh, there's something bigger going on here, and then have them all kind of meet up and meet each other at the thing and start to work together. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's usually how the Justice League comes together, kind of by accident. Yeah. And that was one of the things about them, like Batman bringing them together. It just felt a little bit forced. Yeah, it does feel a little bit forced, and I guess that's what it is. Like, I always kind of felt kind of weird about Batman, like kind of bringing them together.
Yeah, because he's a little too...
But then again, in the comics, isn't it a little too convenient that 7 strangers happen to all be in the same place at the same time.
Not if they're all kind of investigating like what's going on, and it leads them all to the source of it.
I mean, you're not wrong.
You know what I mean?
That's if done right, yeah. But then again, if done right, everything would be better.
Because then, if they had done that, it would have made sense that Superman just comes back on his own, instead of them digging up the body where we had already seen the dirt fly up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What was the point of that?
Why would you do that? Did he just have a fart after death, and that's what vibrated through the...
Yeah. I don't know.
Because, like, if they all just ended up there, and then they're fighting the dude, and they're like, oh, man, we're struggling, then Captain America shows up.
Yeah. But at that point, I mean, you're right. Like, at that point, we know Superman's coming back.
Yeah.
So there's not as much, like, dramatic, like, will he save them? Or how are they going to get out of this predicament? Like,
right.
Yeah, I mean, look, what I said in my review is that it's not as graceful of bringing the team together and all that stuff as, like, an Avengers or, like, any other iteration of the Justice League and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I really enjoyed seeing all the characters together, and there's moments. The movie as a whole might not be perfect, but there's enough great moments for me, like stuff I've wanted to see my whole life.
Yeah.
Like stuff I never knew I wanted to see, like Aquaman riding on the Batmobile.
Yeah.
Like, you know, stuff I really wanted to see, like that first, I won't say what it is, but that first post-credit scene. Characters I wanted to see, like that second post-credit scene. Yeah, like a lot of stuff like that. Like, there was a lot more stuff in it I love that outweighed the flaws the movie had. Where did you stand on it?
I just thought it was enjoyable.
Yeah.
Way more enjoyable than the others had been.
Than the previous DC movies?
Yeah, I feel like it's a better step in the right direction.
I mean, Wonder Woman.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, Wonder Woman was like the first step in the right direction, like for that universe. A lot of people see this as a step back. I see it maybe not step forward as much because still has its flaws, and it still shows that, you know, oddly enough, like looking at it, their better films are their solo movies with like Man of Steel and Wonder Woman. Like they haven't managed to pull it all together quite so well. So.
Which is odd. I don't know. I don't know.
It's because they're trying to juggle too many things and they don't know how to do it yet. Yeah. It's also because Warner Brothers has way too many fucking studio executives that are all like putting their input in there and everything and they're really reactionary and all that stuff. They need their guy. They need their Kevin Feige that will guide it all, and or their Kathy Kennedy. She's doing that for Star Wars, and she's not letting anything stay in her way. Oh, Colin Trevorrow, fuck off. Kick rocks. Like, oh, we'll bring back J.J. Abrams. Oh, Phil Lord and Chris Miller, fuck off. Ron Howard's doing this now. Like,
I feel like
she's like not taking any shit, and she's like, if it's not working, we'll do whatever we need to fix it because we've got the money, and at the end of the day, we'll make that money back if we do it right.
Because there's like certain little things where I was like, I feel like there's room in Justice League for Lois Lane and Martha Kent to have that scene, but that wasn't the scene. I think it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like a scene with those two just talking about what had happened is deserved to be there somewhere, but I feel like that wasn't the correct scene. Do you know what I mean?
Like, I kind of feel like they were both just like, yeah, it was here. Kind of a boring scene.
They were like, we're here, that's
like, it. Like, if there was some kind of, like, maybe friction there, or like, or like, you know, like maybe Lois is doing something and Martha's like, how would Clark feel about you doing that, or sort of thing, or vice versa, or just a little bit of, like, friction. They were too, like, oh, yeah, we're both, like, you know, we get along, and we're just gonna sit in here, and some creepy guy comes in asking for a source on something. Like, fuck that guy. I don't know why he was there.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Like, just the whole scene was cut out.
The whole scene was set up for that, like, thirsty joke.
It didn't land for me.
Yeah. It got a huge laugh the first time I saw it, and I was like,
really?
Yeah. Yeah. I think
Does Martha know what that means?
No, that was the joke that she didn't know what she was talking about.
But it seems like she realizes something and then corrects herself.
I don't know.
But I mean, I was like, why would Martha...
Yeah. That was kind of weird.
Who cares?
There's some really odd humor in there that doesn't work in the way that the Marvel humor does. Like, there's some funny moments, and like really, like that's the thing. For me, like really good funny moments come out of character, and when they're forcing it like that, or like
it seemed like it was forced,
or like for me, one of them that kind of felt like that was the Flash was like brunch. What's brunch? Like that
was too much.
That was like something that some guy that a writer had in a notebook and was like, oh yeah, put that in there.
Yeah,
like it didn't really feel like it was coming from character. You know, I don't know.
When Batman says to Flash, when Flash is like, look, I've never done battle, ... all this stuff.
Yeah,
like I don't know what to do. Batman says, just save one person.
Yeah,
that should have been left for someone else. Like,
what do you mean?
Save the one person. Who's the one person that would be important that you need to save? Superman. Somehow. You save Superman, you save the world.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That would have been a good callback.
Right.
Like, in that moment, that's what made sense for Flash to do. Like, save one person, and that's what he did. He saved one person, then you'll know what to do next. You save another, and then you save another. Like, that's what you do as a superhero. And so it really worked in that context. But like you're saying, yeah, it would have been kind of cool if they brought that back later and they did it like save one person and he
or if like the one person was Cyborg, like if he was doing something with the mother boxes, like only Flash can go save him at this second.
Everything slows down and Barry's like seeing everything going on. He's like, what do I do? Right. He's getting overwhelmed. Then he hears that voice and said, save one person. And he does the right thing, saves the one person at the right time that saves everything. That's good. I like that. It's good writing.
I feel like there's there's other little things that I liked, like I was talking about, like when the stuff was gonna fall on Aquaman, he would have been fine. Wonder Woman saves him. Earlier, what you said, Wonder Woman would have been fine, but Flash, pushes her out of the way. When like you think, like they beat him, and then like Steppenwolf grabs Flash by like the neck.
Yeah.
And like chucks him. I feel like Aquaman was like a little bit extra angry just because he's like, "Hey, that's my buddy."
Yeah.
I was like, I like that. You know what I mean? Like when you went and like straight up tried to stab him with the thing.
Yeah.
There's like a little bit extra to it. You know.
Somebody said this, and I don't even remember who. I saw it on Twitter, but I completely agree. It felt like an episode of Justice League, like the animated show. Just like the story of like this is like a one-off, like a one story kind of thing, and like it's unfortunate because like I have been wanting a Justice League movie for my entire life, and like this being the first one out the gate is kind of little underwhelming. It's not as good as I would have wanted to, but it's not as bad as I think a lot of people are making it out to be. Like, I
don't think that there's like a lot of people saying like, "Oh, Steppenwolf wasn't a good."
I think there's a lot of people saying that they didn't like he.
But here's
he was just fine. But then again, all the Marvel movies have weak villains too. So.
But here's my thought.
You can't hold that against him for doing the same thing.
Here's my thought though. It seemed like that the rest of the league couldn't fight him very well. Like they were having trouble fighting him. But when Superman came, it was easy.
Yeah.
For Superman just to smack him the hell around.
Yeah.
Which I thought made it a good reason like why they need Superman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To be part of the team.
I mean, the thing is, Superman is always like that. It's always like that with Superman. Every story is like they got to find a way to subdue Superman so that the rest of the Justice League people have some trouble with fighting the villain or whatever they're trying to do. Whatever they're trying to accomplish, and then at the end, Superman comes back. Like I just watched Justice League War again, and like Superman gets kidnapped by the parademons, and Batman has to go save him while the rest of them are fighting Darkseid, and then they bring back Superman so he can save everyone's ass. Like that's always the case. Like Superman always has to save the day.
Well, I mean, you take out the big guns, and then
just like in Avengers, you want to try to take out the Hulk, and like when. In Age of Ultron, when Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver tried to, target the Hulk and they tried to take him out.
Yeah.
And, like, trying to distract him. That's what you do. So, I guess, killing off Superman a movie ago, or 3 movies ago, really. I mean, as far as the DC Universe movies. But killing Superman the last time, like, I mean, it kind of accomplished that goal of sidelighting him for a while. But I just would have liked to seen that happen within the movie, like... maybe not exactly that, but, in the movie, Superman being there from the beginning And you're right. Like,
you know what? He should have died in Justice League, not in Batman v Superman.
I mean, it was too early for him to fucking die. Right. Is my thing.
Well, that's what I'm like. Like, there's your grand gesture at the end of Justice League. They lose their big gun, and that's what the second movie is about.
Yeah.
Like, what do they do without him, and then he comes back?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or that's a Flashpoint. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
Going back and fixing all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll write it tomorrow.
Yeah. I like Justice League. They could have done a lot of stuff better. It could have been there's a much better version of Justice League that they could have done. Mm-hmm. They didn't do it, so at the end of the day, I only have the movie that they made, and at the end of the day, I enjoyed it. I got a lot out of it, so that's all I can say. Like, I got more out of it than I did at a Batman v Superman. Mm-hmm. Like, there's way more highlights for me in this movie. It's not as like with Batman vs Superman, I have that Ultimate Edition that I can look to and go, that's a version of that movie that I can enjoy. Mm-hmm. I can watch the whole thing beginning to end, and it tells a good story or whatever. This, it feels like it was done by two directors. It feels like there's a lot of like mix and matching stuff together. I felt like Batman was
a little too funny.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, Batman is really funny in some stuff to me, but it's his relationship with the other characters, and that's what they didn't quite get with this version of in Justice League. Like
it should be the Tommy Lee Jones in Men in Black, where he's playing it very, very serious, but like the humor is like he's not. How do you explain that? I think you know what I mean, right?
Yeah, it's just the way the other people react to him, the way he carries himself, and the way he looks at things, and all that stuff. Like, it's the humor comes from him being Batman, where everyone else is like Justice League War, like when the Green Lantern and same with the Justice League War is based on the New 52, Justice League Volume 1, mm-hmm. And so like in that, Green Lantern's the first person to meet Batman, mm-hmm. and they're working together, and like he's like talking to him, and he's like, it's like, so what are your powers? You got super strength? He's like, no. He's like,
mm-hmm.
you got super like
vampire powers, yeah, like, all this stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, wait. You're not just a dude dressed like a bat, are you? And he kind of smiles.
Yeah.
He's like, mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's like, no. Like, that's the humor that you get in a Batman and interacting with those other characters.
Mm-hmm. Here's a better Lois Lane, Martha Kent thing.
Yeah.
She's still working at, like, that diner, right, Martha?
I don't know. I don't know where she's working. I mean, she lost the house. She's moving somewhere. I don't know where she's moving to. I felt
like she's still working. Anyway, maybe Lois goes to visit mm-hmm. at where she's working. Like, Lois is feeling, like, a little, like, sad or whatever. And then Martha gives her, like a uplifting little speech. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of about it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It doesn't need to be, like, a nothing scene. It could have been...
Yeah. It had to mean something for one of them, and it didn't really mean anything for either of them. There was kind of in that moment.
And I think we'll go ahead and skip over the whole Russian family.
Yeah, which is what the movie should have done.
I don't know why they had so much screen time.
It was because there was literally no other people in that city that, like we never saw any other people. So they're like, we're going to get all of our exposition of, like, there's people living here and all this stuff by just showing you this one family, like, as opposed to, like, crowd scenes of people running and panicking and stuff. Mm-hmm. It was, that was kind of... It's like it's weird, like feels like a shortcut to do it when it really it didn't really feel like a shortcut when you see it.
Yeah.
I don't know. God,
Would you replace Ben Affleck with Jake Gyllenhaal? Would you be opposed to it?
I guess I wouldn't hate it. Mm-hmm. I do think he's a good actor. I really like that movie Nightcrawler, but I was never a huge Jake Gyllenhaal fan. Like, I just haven't seen enough stuff that I really loved him in. But I loved him.
He got swole in that one boxing movie.
I haven't seen that. I want to see that.
I haven't either.
Yeah.
But there's like pictures of, like, he looks swole enough to be
I'd be okay with it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, here it all depends on how they handle it. Mm-hmm. Like, what I would rather them do, rather than making Dick Grayson just become Batman and that's how they do it, which I think is an easy way to do it, but I'd rather them, because they're already talking about doing Flashpoint, do Flashpoint. In the comics, Flashpoint was the crux of, like, what became the New 52, and it aged down all of their heroes. Mm-hmm. You do that in the movies, and all you have to do is age down Batman.
Why would it only age down Batman and not the rest?
Because he's old. Like, but that's the thing. You can change little things with a Flashpoint. Mm-hmm. Like, you can just go, all right, this character has had maybe not a 20-year history, but he has maybe a 5-year history in Gotham.
10.
Yeah?
10's all right.
Well, I mean, they would probably cast somebody around 30 years old.
Yeah.
So that's all you need.
I think it's usually 33 is what, quote-unquote, they make.
Yeah, makes sense.
You know what I mean?
I always round it down to 30. But, yeah, I think Superman is always 33.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, and Batman, I think he becomes Batman a lot younger than. I mean, he trains a long time, but maybe 30. Yeah, 30, 33 is like usually when they become the hero or whatever.
They're all 33.
Yeah,
like whoa.
Well, Flash is younger in the movies and the show and stuff.
I don't know. I usually see Flash, even though I really like the one on the Grant Gustin, the way he plays it. But I've always pictured Barry Allen being just like a little bit older.
Yeah, no, yeah, like, I don't think they've ever nailed the comic book version of Barry Allen and stuff. I just love all the versions they've done.
Yeah,
I like the old Flash TV show. I like Grant Gustin a lot. He's my favorite. And then Ezra Miller, I like him a lot too. It's a very different performance than Grant Gustin, but I like what he does with it.
When they were, did we talk about Evil Superman for a second?
Yeah.
But he didn't really strike me as evil Superman. He just struck me as like, I'm fed up with everything Superman.
Yeah.
Everyone's up my ass.
Well, he did just come back from death, and that's always the case, like in the Lazarus pits and stuff in Arrow with Thea, and there's always an adjustment period when someone comes back to life.
I really like the idea Wonder Woman had when she put the lasso on him, and then started asking, like, who are you? Because that's because it's going to make him, like, you know what I mean? It's going
to make him have to tell the truth and, like actually come to terms with it.
Yeah. I was like, that's clever. Anyway. That's good.
Anyway, all right, a couple of TV things I wanted to talk about real quick, and then we'll wrap things up.
SpongeBob?
Yeah, SpongeBob. So I've been binging SpongeBob, beginning to end.
Are you all caught up on Ben 10?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Good.
I can't yes and that much more. I don't know anything about Ben 10.
What about Kevin 11?
I didn't know that was a thing.
I don't know if it is either.
No, I think you made it up.
I feel like it's a part of it, but I don't know.
Is there a Kevin 11 in Ben 10?
There should be.
We should pitch that. We should try to get in on writing for Ben 10. It's like, we got a good idea. Kevin 11. They're like, oh, fuck. These kids are onto something.
Nate 8.
Nate 8? Oh, God.
Right?
Well, you got Kevin 11 and Devin 7.
Devin 7?
Why are we doing this? All right. Crisis on Earth X was this past week. I was really looking forward to this. It's the biggest crossover they've done. My opinion, the best crossover they've done. Like, I mean, what was that? Me and you arguing about? It was like, it's the second one they've done. Wasn't that me and you arguing about that once?
No.
On the podcast? I can't remember.
No.
But they do a crossover. They've done a crossover every year. Technically, the first, not really a crossover yet because there wasn't 2 shows yet. But season 2 of Arrow, they introduced Barry in that 2-part episode. And then the next year, they did a Flash and Arrow crossover. Then the next year, there was another Flash and Arrow crossover that introduced all the Legends characters and Vandal Savage. Then the year after that, they did Invasion last year. And now we've got Crisis on Earth X. They get bigger every time. Really, really cool seeing all of these characters involved. There's still, like every big major character that's on a team roster at the moment. Like, they found, like, Arrow, like, Diggle has been doing some stuff in the show. And I don't know if you're not caught up, like, there's a reason why Diggle's not as big of a part of it. Like, Kid Flash left the show, but he came back for the wedding, but he's still not really involved in the crossover as much, other than just being at the wedding and then having to take care of Joe and Iris, or Iris and, no, not even Iris. It was Joe and Cecile, like, just to write them out of the episode pretty much. That was kind of weak. And there's you kind of see little instances of, like, them trying to save money. It's like, all right, these characters are not going to appear in this episode to save money. And, like, like, this guy, Cisco's going to get knocked out and he's not going to be in the Arrow episode at all. Like, stuff like that they have to find ways of.
I mean, I get it. There's like a billion. I get it. There's 150,000 characters.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. But even, I'll be greedy. I still want to see Superman and Martian Manhunter involved in these stories.
Yeah, those two would be good, though.
Yeah. Maybe next time, here's what they do. Next time they should go to Kara's Earth.
Yeah.
That would be really cool. Because the crossover always starts on Supergirl.
Does it?
Well, this year it did.
Okay.
Last year, but Supergirl airs on Mondays. Mm-hmm. It comes in the week. It comes before everybody else. So they kind of got to start, which is weird because Flash, this year's the Supergirl episode started the story, but it was Flash's wedding was the main thing that brought everyone together.
Yeah.
So the wedding of Flash started in Supergirl.
I think they were kind of a weird thing. Just trying to make it all feel like one thing. Do you know what I mean?
No, for sure. The 4 episodes, it doesn't matter which show you're watching because it's really all just Crisis on Earth X. Mm-hmm. And I like that about it. It didn't matter what's been going on in the show. There's only, like, when I was telling you about it, you were like, what do you need to know about the other shows? You don't really need to know much. You need to know that Barry and Iris are getting married. They don't talk about, like, the Thinker or any of that stuff, really. You need to know that you don't even need to know what's been going on with Arrow, that Diggle's been the Green Arrow at all. Like he's just Arrow again, just in time for the crossover. And and then Legends, all you really need to know about that is that Stein is getting written off the show, that he is trying to find a way for Firestorm to break up so that he can go be with his family. And his new daughter that was a time fucker kind of a thing when he had a daughter once Barry did the Flashpoint. And then in Supergirl you need to know that both of the Danvers girls recently went through breakups. And that's really, and they talk about it in dialogue and stuff, so you really could just watch Crisis on Earth X and know all you need to know if you have any level of familiarity with these characters.
Familiarity.
I wonder if they're going to release this on just a separate DVD kind of thing.
Be a good idea.
Yeah, they didn't do that for
bunch of. It kind of plays like a movie.
Yeah, it definitely does.
Wouldn't it?
It would be a long movie, like a 3.5 hour movie, but I'd be down for that.
If each episode is 40 minutes?
Each episode's about 40 to 44 minutes. So that would be about 3 hours.
Okay.
I'd watch Batman v Superman for that long. I get way more enjoyment out of Crisis on Infinite X.
Infinite X?
Yeah, that's what I said.
You think about Infinity War?
I'm thinking on Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because that's just burned into my brain. There's so many crises. You need to calm down over there. Crises. Yeah, crises. Anyway, we're running late. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to say about Crisis on Earth X. Really fun story. Really interesting, Earth hopping stuff, and it's cool seeing, there's some surprises in there. There's some characters that I didn't expect to see in there. Some little cameos of like a villain or stuff like that, or like an alternate Earth version of a character, and surprises, fun stuff, some shocking developments and stuff, and some of the later stuff, and
other stuff.
I don't want to, because you haven't seen the whole thing yet,
no.
So I don't want to spoil anything for you or anyone who hasn't watched it yet. I definitely recommend watching it, even if you don't watch all 4 shows. Like maybe you watch 1 or 2 of them, or you've never watched them and want to check and see what's going on over there. Like as many problems I've had with the DCEU, I just love, that's why it's frustrating for sure, but I always have the Arrowverse, that world, and they're starting to loosen up a little bit with some of the things, like they let them use Superman. This might be spoilery if you really care, but I don't think you will really care. There was an episode of Legends where Helena Troy was in, they're basically fixing anachronisms, which is people or things from history that are popping up in the wrong place in history. That's what they're doing this season. So Helena Troy was in 1930s Hollywood. So they go and get her and then trying to take her back, but she doesn't want to go back. So one of the characters is like, all right, well, I'll take you here. It's an island with all women, with all warrior women and stuff. And it's like, oh, and then it shows the ship, the shuttle fly in there, and it says Themyscira and everything. It's like, oh, that's really cool. So they did that, and there's been so many Batman references in the shows this season. A couple of weird Spider-Man references lately too.
Oh,
Barry said his spider sense, and then in the Crisis, Stein was trying to give him sticky powers.
Well, I guess you would. I'm assuming what they're saying is like that comic. Those comics exist in there.
Another weird thing in Arrow recently. Oliver came home and Felicity and his son William were playing Injustice.
Oh, were they?
Yeah. They were playing a video game in one scene, and they were playing Injustice 2, and Felicity was Sub-Zero, which is like, it makes sense. He's a Mortal Kombat character. That's a playable character in there. But William was playing as Blue Beetle. And I was like, oh, that's kind of like a DC cameo, like Easter egg thing almost. Like, it kind of feels like it is, but then again, I don't know. Like, maybe Blue Beetle exists in that world.
Do you have that game?
I want him to. Yeah.
Is it good?
Yeah, I haven't played the story mode yet. I want to. I really like the story of the first game.
What characters do you have?
What?
What characters do you have?
I mean, I just have the characters. I haven't bought any characters yet. I just have the ones that come with it.
Get the stupid characters.
Yeah, I really want to get Hellboy. I can't believe they did a DLC version of Hellboy in there. And the Ninja Turtles are coming. I can't wait for that. All right. So Crisis on Earth X was a huge success for me. There was a couple of things that were kind of iffy. There was a couple of things that, like, really, you're going to do this right now? And
I was thinking in the game, like, if you could only play as all 4 of them at once. So basically, like, all 4 of them just, like, curb stomp the one dude. Like, they're, you know what I mean?
They're just, like, gangs, just beating the shit out of him.
It's not like you can only, like, beat Michelangelo.
Yeah.
Or one of the other. It's like, no, all 4. They all attack.
Yeah. Just all of them just beating the shit out of Captain Cold.
It's like, all right.
Like, fuck off. You know what? It's something cool that I noticed that you can get skins for characters. So you can get a Reverse Flash skin or a Jay Garrick skin for Flash. You can get Mr. Freeze for Captain Cold. You can get Vixen instead of Cheetah. You can get Bizarro instead of Superman.
That's good.
You can get Jon Stewart instead of Hal Jordan. Yeah, there's a bunch of these skins and stuff you can get. It's cool. Power Girl for Supergirl. So it just kind of opens up the amount of playable characters even more. Still wish those rumors of Spawn. I really want Spawn. Like, that's... If they do Spawn, I'm like, that's it. I'm done. I got everybody I need.
Got everybody you need?
Yeah, ever.
What about Iron Fist?
Why do you have to ruin my life? All right, 2 more Marvel shows I want to talk about.
His ability is just to tell you that he's Iron Fist. That's his big power-up.
Yep, apparently. That and not wearing shoes. All right, Runaways. The Runaways, Marvel's newest show, has debuted on Hulu. They dropped the first 3 episodes last week and episode 4 this week. I've watched them all. I went back and reread the first collection of the first 18 issues of Runaways. I love that comic. It's so good. The show is a little different, but I mean, it's where the characters are what they need to be, all of them, and they're all it's kind of taking different routes to hit some of the same things they do in the comics.
What's the style of the show? Is it like a CW-ish?
Honestly, I saw it somewhere that's described as the OC in the Marvel universe, and I see that.
Okay.
I've never watched the OC, but it kind of feels like that.
Did I ever watch that?
I don't know. Didn't it have Jim Gordon in that show?
Jim Gordon. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. And wasn't Adam Brody in that? Maybe. I don't know. I never watched the OC, but just judging on commercials and DVD boxes,
I get it.
Yeah, I get. Yeah, and this show is. I get that. That's fine. That's a fair description. But I like it. I like the characters. I like the main 6 teenagers and stuff. The parents, the where the changes come in from comic to TV show. I think the parents are the biggest differences. There's,
because of characters they can't use or something, or
no. I mean, the one thing they can't use is mutants, and each character in the comic is one is a prodigy, one is an alien, one is a mutant, one is so they all have these origin stories, and they kind of almost made it. It was too awesome in the comics, I guess, and they kind of dumbed it down a little bit. Where in the show it's more there's some of those things, but instead of them all being supervillains, where they're all you have the time travelers, the wizards, and the all that stuff, which there still are elements of that. It's more like a cult, and they're all wearing the red robes instead of all their various villain costumes and stuff. But I don't mind those things. They changed some stuff, which is cool because if I've read the comics, if I'm just waiting for every single beat from the comics, it's like I kind of grew up a little bit in that regard where I don't want that anymore.
Yeah.
Because I can always read the comic now.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I can always read the comics. I like
when they mention things or just kind of have things that are kind of like a wink, like, "Hey, remember this?"
Yeah.
But then, like, you get on with it.
I like it when they pick the right things to pay homage to, like in the story.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah, So this show I think is doing an okay job of that. They're getting including the things in there that I really like about the Runaways comic. So,
like Spaghetti Man.
Spaghetti Man's my favorite character. The one thing that I wish they do more is I don't know how it works because they always say everything's connected in the Marvel stuff. This show is not doing what the Netflix shows or Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. are doing, where they at least you don't have to cross over or show any of the other characters or anything, but at least acknowledge the fact that you're in the same universe. Mm-hmm. At this point, 4 episodes in, I don't know if this is in the same universe as the rest of the MCU. Mm-hmm. I don't know how what to do with that.
How many episodes are you into Punisher?
I finished Punisher.
Oh, you finished it.
Yeah, okay. Which is the next show that I want to talk about. Because, so Runaways is like, this is crazy. I didn't even realize this until I saw it somewhere. Runaways is like, in addition to established Marvel shows like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and all the Netflix stuff, Runaways is the 7th new Marvel TV show to debut this year. They've done 7 new shows this year.
Does Inhumans count?
It shouldn't, but it does. So here's the shows. So
you're saying new, like not like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
No. Okay. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has been around. Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage. Those don't count. But Iron Fist debuted this year. Okay. The Defenders debuted this year. Inhumans. Legion debuted this year. Okay. Legion is fantastic. The Gifted debuted this year, which I really like. And finally, The Punisher. Okay. And I have finished The Punisher. I've watched all 13 episodes.
Is it going to depress me? Should I steer clear?
Honestly, it's not as much as I thought it would. Okay. I mean, there's definitely stuff that it's sad, and you feel for Frank and some of the other characters as well.
Is he more sad or more angry?
I mean, he's sad, but I mean, he's a very angry man. But you also see moments that I wasn't expecting to see where there's human moments. Mm-hmm. Not just like him like crying or just feeling bad or looking at a picture or dreaming of his family and stuff. There's moments where you see him being a person with another person, and it's like those things that really humanize the character and go, wow, he is a good guy that got a shit like got dealt the shit hand with his family. And even before that stuff, you learn more about like his history and like the war and stuff like that, and as a soldier and the things he had to do.
Tell me this. Was he just trying to mind his own goddamn business?
He's always trying to mind it. See, he's the ultimate just trying to mind his own goddamn business.
So he wasn't seeking things out. He's trying to mind his own business.
No. Like he's like the first episode of this is he's straight up trying to mind his own goddamn business. Like the episode begins. First episode is like he's full on Punisher at the beginning of the show. Okay. And the first like couple scenes, and you're seeing him take people out and wipe, and he's straight up Punisher with the skull shirt and all that stuff. And then he burns it. And then it cuts to several months later where he's just kind of, he thought he put that behind him. He thought that he did all that he needed to do as the Punisher. Okay. He killed the people that were responsible and just killed every person that was involved in his family's death. Or so he thought. And then he's going about his life. He's doing construction, and he is literally just smashing shit with a sledgehammer all day. And that's just all he's doing. And there's people that like just, it's like, oh, that's the retard and everything. Like, yeah, and like they treat him like shit. But he just doesn't give a fuck. He's just doing that because he just needs to get that aggression out. Yeah, okay. It's like a very man thing to do. Yeah. And yeah, people won't leave him alone, man. Okay. And yeah, so he has to.
I might be a little bit more on board with if he's just trying to mind his own business.
The first episode for sure is all about Frank Castle.
Does he ever? To me, this isn't a huge spoiler. I'm just curious. Does he ever? I highly doubt it. He doesn't get like white boots and white gloves.
No. I don't think they're ever going to do the white boots and gloves version of Punisher.
That's a tricky one.
Yeah.
It's not that I need it. I'm just curious if they would.
If they would do that? Yeah.
Because they seem a little ballsy to be... I was like, maybe they might try it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, he is not in the costume as much as because, like, here's the thing that they always do with these shows is the whole series is building to them putting that costume on again. Mm-hmm. Or putting that costume on in the first place. Like Daredevil, the whole season was building them putting that costume on at the end. Mm-hmm. Iron Fist felt like that. He never did. Defenders, he still never did. Mm-hmm. Defenders, you're waiting a couple episodes for Daredevil even to put that costume on finally. And he was the only one to put it on.
Yeah, that took me out of it a little bit.
Well, it's for me, it doesn't matter as much when a character like Luke Cage or Jessica Jones doesn't put a costume on because they don't really need them. They don't really supposed to have them.
I would have liked that yellow T-shirt though.
Yeah.
For the last scene, you know what I mean? Yeah, the last big.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess you're right. Like he wore the yellow shirt at points in the show, but
why not just
he should have wore it in those last. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, just for me.
Yeah, but so this show does the same thing where like he's the Punisher at the very beginning, but he burns a suit or whatever, and then like he's not the Punisher for a long time in the show, and like you're just waiting for him to become the Punisher again. But yeah. But he's Frank Castle the whole damn time, and that's great, and it's a really good show. A lot of people. I mean, as far as like,
I'm not talking about Karen Page or anything or Foggy.
No, Karen Page is in a couple episodes, and Turk Barrett, who I love.
Who?
Turk Barrett's that criminal guy that's always getting chased down by Daredevil. Okay. And he got chased down by Luke Cage and put in that dumpster. I love it. I love that guy. Yeah, but yeah, so he gets cornered by Punisher as well. So it's always nice to see him getting pushed around by a superhero. But
can't catch a break.
Yeah, but no.
Wouldn't it be great if that character made an appearance in Avengers: Infinity War? Like he turns the wrong corner.
He's the only one that they bring from the TV shows and movies, or from the TV shows into the movies.
So which way would you have him? Like, does he turn the wrong corner and run into Thanos? Or
oh my god, I want that so bad now. That's the perfect cameo. He's like, you guys always want to talk about us crossing the TV into the movies. Well, here you go.
Or what if he turns the corner, runs into Thanos, and then like he's had it with people pushing him around, so he just stomps the shit out of Thanos.
Oh, Turk Barrett. In the comics, he becomes Stilt Man, I believe.
Stop.
You don't want to see Stilt Man?
What is?
He's got stilts.
I'm done.
He's got like crazy stilts. We're like,
stop. I'm out.
Like go gadget stilts.
Stop. We're done.
All right. If you like this episode, that'd have been a good place. But I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to say about Punisher. Did you have any other questions about it? Any questions about Runaways or Crisis?
So no,
or
like
Punisher.
There's no like hints to like a Luke Cage or an Iron Fist or a Daredevil.
No,
not
really. Okay. I mean, he doesn't really. He has
his own thing
of those. Yeah. I mean, he's got his own shit to deal with. Like I thought there was rumors of another character appearing at one point, and I don't know. We talked about it on the podcast, and I don't know if it was supposed to be, if like what they were talking about was like one of the other Defenders appearing. Mm-hmm. But I mean, after seeing the Defenders, like I don't see how any of them would have had a part to play in it. Or, I mean, especially Daredevil, which would be the one that would make the most sense. But it makes the least sense after seeing Defenders and where they left off that character. And we're not going to see Daredevil again until his season 3 of his show.
Here's what I'm thinking. Mm-hmm. So, Infinity War. Whole bunch of aliens, looks like. Do you think they'll touch on that at all during any of the Netflix shows?
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
Like they've kind of made
you can't just not talk about it again. Yeah,
just like the first Avengers like became a thing that they always have to reference the day that the sky opened up and aliens poured out of it.
But it happens again and they don't talk about it. Yeah. Like, all right, remember that thing we never thought would happen? Mm-hmm. Happened again.
Yeah.
So,
honestly, thinking about it, because Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. starts back this Friday, season 5. Really looking forward to it. please, please, please. Like, that's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. for me, other than when they did the Ghost Rider stuff, for me, back in the day, it always got better when they tied into what was going on with the movies. You know? And, like, that would be awesome if the season kind of dovetailed into Infinity War in some way. Mm-hmm. And, like, I don't know how you do that. I don't know.
I'm curious how Black Panther's going to tie into all that. Because that seems like a very, not singular, but like it's its own story. But since it's the one like right before.
Well, yeah, but in the trailer for Infinity War, you see all that giant battle in Wakanda.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, how are they gonna?
Infinity Stone's there. That's what it has to be.
Yeah,
that's the only reason to bring that fight to Wakanda.
That makes sense if he has one there, like in his not trophy room, but like his.
Maybe he doesn't even have it. Maybe it's just there and he doesn't know about it.
I'd like to think that he has it like safely tucked away somewhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
A lot of people, I was just following this one particular Facebook thread of everyone pointing out thing, like everyone's saying, and then this one guy was like, they're talking about where do you think the last Infinity Stones are or whatever, and somebody was getting real pissy as like, they're supposed to be spread out across the universe. Like, why would people would say, like, everyone was like, Wakanda. And then this one guy was getting particularly mad that everyone kept saying Wakanda. He's like, it's supposed to be spread out around the universe. Why would they have so many on Earth? Mm-hmm. I'm like, yeah, that's true. But, like, that, yeah, just because that's the logic of, doesn't mean that's not what they're going to do in the movies. Like, we only know what we see in the movies. They would have to either introduce a new location in the universe, because everything we've seen for the most part has been on Earth except for
Guardians of the Galaxy one is out somewhere,
and the Thor movies.
Thor one is out somewhere. Tesseract, what is it?
Tesseract,
whatever the blue one is.
Yeah, Tesseract, Cosmic Cube. Yeah, the Tesseract, the Cosmic Cube.
Doctor Strange
has the Eye of Agamotto, which is just the Time Stone.
But isn't that one kind of like in the mirror dimension? Doesn't it? Doesn't he kind of have it like it's on Earth, but it's not kind of ish? It's kind of like in its own.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm trying to say?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I mean, okay, so the Lokis. Okay, well, let's think about where they were. Mm-hmm. The Cosmic Cube was on Earth. Mm-hmm. Because that first appeared in First Avenger. Loki's scepter was another one, so that came from Asgard.
So those two are two separate ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they turned Loki's scepter, which was the Mind Stone, turned that into Vision.
That's right.
So that came from there.
Uh-huh. There's
the
probably
Ether was another one.
But where is that now?
I can't remember. It was in Thor 2. I don't know. I don't fucking
remember. I know where it is. The Collector has it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, they took it to the Collector.
That's right.
And then the Orb in Guardians of the Galaxy, that was in space. And then there's two more.
What is their name? I can't remember.
Sif and the Warriors 3?
No. The Collector has the Ether one.
Yeah.
But then, like, oh, God.
Oh, the Nova.
No, there it is. Yeah. The Nova. They have the other one. So it is spread out.
Yeah, but
that's pretty spread out, bro.
Yeah. But it's still, of all the planets, why would there be multiple ones? I get the guy's argument, but I'm like, okay, just because that's the logic of, like, what the people should have done in this universe, doesn't mean that, like, you know, the writers of the universe are gonna...
They also gotta...
Yeah, you gotta find ways of bringing everybody
reel it in.
Yeah, like you can't, like, at this point you would have to establish another space thing or whatever. I mean,
there's only 5, right?
There's 6.
6? Wait, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is there one like
6.
Here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's right there. That oven. Yeah. There's 6 of them, so I think we've only seen 5. Yeah, there's Eye of Agamotto, Tesseract, the Ether.
I keep forgetting about that one. Yep.
Which one?
Eye of Agamotto.
Yeah, there's the Eye of Agamotto, the Tesseract, the Ether, the orb from Guardians and the Vision Mind Stone.
So then the last one.
So there's one more. So it's in Wakanda.
That'd be a good place to put it.
Yeah, I mean, as far as like to get them involved and all that stuff, yeah.
I'd like to think he knows about it and he's keeping it safe.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Kind of how Doctor Strange is.
Yeah, well, Doctor Strange knows about it now.
He's running around with it.
Yeah. All right. Well, this episode went longer than I ever thought it would.
Yeah.
Because we went off on some...
Well, we had Justice League and Avengers stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
That goes on a while.
Yeah. Especially where we have to try to figure out if Marvel knows what they're doing. They know what they're doing.
You know what the big difference there is, though? Like, when we talk about, like, the Avengers movies and all that, we talk about stuff like, oh, it would be, I wonder if they'll do this. I wonder if they'll do that. Mm-hmm. When we're talking about, like, the Justice League, we're like, this is what they should have done. This is what they should have done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's a bummer. It's just really unfortunate in a world where I've seen other people do it well. Mm-hmm. Seen the Avengers do the Marvel Universe do it well. I've seen the Arrowverse do it well. Mm-hmm. Fox's X-Men has done it well on occasion. Mm-hmm. Like, and they've had some misses, and sure, like, but the DC Universe is so far behind everyone else. Like, the X-Men universe has been going for 17 years. The Marvel Cinematic Universe has been going for 10 years. Mm-hmm. Like, DC is finally figuring out... And Warner Brothers has owned these characters all along. Mm-hmm. They're finally figuring out what they have, and they don't know what to do with it. And it's almost like... It's almost like someone's, like, getting too, like, overexcited for something. Yeah. And, like, they ruin it or whatever. It's like that. Like they're too much, man. They need to slow down. I mean, which is what they said they were going to do. They said they were going to slow down and wait until Justice League came out to figure out their next move. That's why they don't have like that whole slate of films that they used to have anymore. There's all these movies they've talked about making, and now they've got to figure out the ones they're going to move forward with now. Mm-hmm. And
is Barry Allen Jewish?
In the comics?
Yeah, is that ever brought up or anything, or is that strictly like an Ezra Miller thing? Because he makes a small comment about him being a nice Jewish boy.
Yeah. I picked up on that in the movie too. I had that same thought. I don't think they ever really. Mm-hmm. Maybe. I don't know.
I'm just curious.
They never really touched on it in the show, at least. Mm. I don't know about the comics.
It felt like an Ezra Miller type.
Yeah. Probably a improv.
Yeah. Never mind.
What?
I was just gonna say I really did like his face when Superman was looking at him out of his eye.
Oh my god, I love that so much.
I did like.
That was like one of my favorite parts of the movie.
Yeah.
All right, if you like this episode, please do us a favor and subscribe to the Amazing Nerdiverse on iTunes or your favorite podcatcher app, and leave us a review, because this is the most important thing you can do to help us out and help people find this show. If you're watching on YouTube, please like this video and subscribe to our channel and leave a comment down below. Share the show online with your friends, on social media, on Facebook, where you can find us at facebook.com/theamazingnerdiverse. On Instagram, we're at Amazing Nerdiverse, and on Twitter, I'm at Jeff_Grants.
I'm at Steven Tukert.
And we are at Nerdiverse Pod. And finally, go to theamazingnerdiverse.com for all that and very little more. And until next time, I'm Jeff Grants.
I'm Steven Tukert.
We'll catch you right here next time in the Amazing Nerdiverse.
Hit 'em.